to today. So today's adventure took us on a familiar road that led past some magnificent mountains that we were all too familiar with. Those three sisters of Glencoe they never fail to impress you when you're driving down this road. You can see why so many tourists flock to Glencoe. It's an absolutely magnificent area. Anyway, after a short while, well, a wee bit longer in the car, we were soon parked up and starting to get our gear ready for a nice wee walk in the mountains. Wow, it's mightily impressive, isn't it, Jerry?
Lovely.
Aye.
Like to see it frozen.
You'd like to see it frozen. So we're, for those of you who guess, we aren't in Glencoe today. We drove through Glencoe and we've come a little bit further north. And those of you that know Scotland will know exactly where we are, but this is one of the most impressive waterfalls in the land. What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not the tallest, I think it's about the third or fourth height-wise waterfall, but yeah, so we're at the Steel, these are the Steel Falls, and today there's lots of mountains around here. I'm not going to give away where we're going just yet, but we're going up some of the biggest mountains in Scotland, and there might be a wee bit of the white stuff on the top, perhaps, a wee bit of snow.
You never know our luck.
Yeah, never know luck. So yeah, we're going to stop here, take some pictures, and we're going to get cracked on and start heading up the hill. So we head this way. All right, let's go up the hill. After admiring the Steel Falls, we headed on along the pasture, and what a great place this would be to wild camp. In fact, there was a few tents there on this trip, that people enjoying the grand location with that magnificent waterfall. Anyway, that wasn't our location. We were headed a bit further up the glen, and we headed up across a few rivers and a few bridges before striking more directly uphill. And the views were just magnificent. Here you can see the Steel Falls, that white ribbon behind us, making its way down the side of the mountain. And the higher we got, the views over to the moors on the left hand side were just fantastic. It was steep and pretty pathless at this point though, so we had to be pretty careful with our navigation, but we were having a grand time and we were gaining height quite quickly. The first peak of the day was now in sight, Scuravuk, and it was quite a shapely peak. We soon reached the small cairn, and it had been pretty cloudy most of the morning, but as we reached this point with great views over to the grey quarries, there was signs that the cloud was starting to break, and a few dapples of sunlight were breaking through. The moors were slowly rising out of the cloud. It was just lovely, so we decided to stop here and get a bite to eat. It'd been a relatively early start, and I was looking forward to my little lunch break here. I had my favourite snack ready to be eaten. Yeah. Oh right, so we've had our first stop. I'm wiping away the Scotch egg from my lips. 2 Scotch eggs I had. What did you have? Pasty?
I had a fantastic Cornish pasty.
It
was sublime.
Yeah, so that'll keep us going. But we're about 965 metres. This is called
Scuravuk.
Scuravuk. It's not a Corbett, it's not a Monroe, but it's on the way.
The peak of the Scotch egg.
Scotch egg peak, yeah. Anyway, let's just spin around here. I might not be able to see me, but look at that behind me. Absolutely lovely. The mist rising from the glen, and you can see right down to the moor. So anyway, I'm going to stop yapping here. Still got to go up there. At the moment it's in the cloud. There's also some snow on the ground, which is good, so
Fantastic.
can't wait to get up there.
I'm just so excited.
About as excited as me. Right, enough talking, let's get walking. As I sort of hinted at earlier on, Scuravuk is really quite a nice little peak, and it's not too dissimilar to some of the Torridon mountains, with it dropping away quite steeply to the eastern side. It's lovely. Anyway, we still had to get up to the first Munro, which was a big mountain. I think it's it's certainly in the top 10 of the highest mountains in Scotland. So we set about with the skies clearing a little bit and the views opening up before us. Lovely. Oh, it's a steep drop down there, you're right, Jerry.
Be careful.
Don't want to go any further.
Yeah.
Basically where I'm stood, there's not quite vertical, but you wouldn't stop for
Yeah, maybe bounce once.
a few hundred metres. Anyway, so it's been perfect. It's really, really nice. The timing today has been pretty good, hasn't it? I mean, the clouds, the clouds just clearing, and over the top you can see there's a bit of snow. I don't know when you'll watch this, but we're in autumn. There have been a few snowfalls so far, and certainly yesterday the snow came down. There's a bit of snow behind the camera and what have you, so we should be up into the snow in a wee while, which would be quite nice. But yeah, we've timed it quite well. The summit's starting to clear a cloud at the moment, and the sun's coming out, and all these hills to the south of us, the moors, and we can see the grey corries, which we did this time last year. It's just lovely, isn't it? It's perfect.
Splendid day, and there's no wind. The temperature's good for walking. The hills are quiet.
Apart from the stags.
Apart from the bellowing of the stags,
Yes.
rushing stags.
I think I said earlier on that today's walk has felt very Scottish, hasn't it? Just everything about it's been
There might be a reason for that.
Scotch eggs, yes.
Eggs, bellowing stags.
Scotch stags,
You
Scottish
probably
mountains.
have a glass of Scotch, would you?
I might have a glass of Scotch. Anyway, right, enough blethering, let's go. Yeah, let's get to the summit.
Scotch nonsense.
You think we're in Scotland? Let's go to the top. The first Munro we were headed to is actually the 7th highest in Scotland, and it sits at about 1,234 metres, so it's pretty high. And before long we encountered our first snow. It was lovely to see it, and there must have been a fair bit over the prior few days, because there was even some cornicing starting to form, as you can see from this picture here. But at this time of year the snow's pretty transient, so I'm pretty sure over the next few days, or the next Atlantic weather system, would have rolled in and melted it. And we soon reached the peak with a rather uninspiring cairn at the top. So we decided not to stop here, because the cloud had come back in, and we headed down off this peak down towards the Beag, with some absolutely fantastic views to our left. Oh, right, we've come down to the Beag, and Jerry's just reminded me I haven't actually mentioned where we are yet. So we've just come off.
And where are we, Murray? I don't know where we are.
It's Scotland. We said it was Scotland,
we
didn't we?
reckoned that. It was the stags and the heather and the mountains.
And the Scotch eggs.
The Scotch eggs, give it a wee.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been on, I think it's either the 6th highest mountain or the 7th, I can't remember. It's called Aonach Beag. And behind me, if I swing round, you'll see Ben Nevis. That's the highest mountain. Over, yes, if my glamorous assistant points out with his pointer. And we're now down at the Beag. We followed the path down, and the second hill is called Aonach Mor, which is actually, it means bigger, but it's actually smaller in height, isn't it?
Yes, so big and Vor and vague mean big and little, but the little Beag is bigger than the
little
Mor.
one.
So you do the maths.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's maybe to do with the bulk of the hill. But anyway, we stopped here. Look at this round behind Jerry. Lovely big cliffs. Very much like the Ben, the sort of east and north sides are a lot more rugged than the sort of sloping tops. I mean, it's still quite rough down that way. But anyway, it's lovely. Going to shut up. We'll get cracked on up to the top of Aonach Mor, and then it's back down there somewhere. So take the crack on. Let's go. There'll be the summit of Aonach Mor. Right, lunch here, Jerry? Yeah. Yeah. There's a wee bit of blue sky above us now. We're in the clouds. Well, that's us on the top of Aonach Mor, and the clouds are down a wee bit. It's quite atmospheric, it's coming and going. It's kind of cleared a bit over to the, it's kind of plateau-like the top of this, so it's cleared a bit behind us. I don't know if you'll pick it up on the camera or not. And there's still patches of snow from yesterday, isn't there, Jerry?
I think there maybe even predate yesterday, some quite deep drifts.
There's a cornicing over there, wasn't there?
It's been building up over a few days, I think.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to have a second break here, second bite to eat, second lunch perhaps, and then we're going to head down and we're going to make the circuit. We're going to head back down into the glen. You come off quite steeply, so we'll need to navigate quite carefully because the mist is coming and going.
Pick up the correct ridge.
Yeah.
Into a big wild corrie.
Make sure we don't go the wrong way.
Or we'll get a long walk back.
Yeah, don't want to be going for Ben Nevis. We came across some people looking for Ben Nevis earlier in the day.
At Steel
Yeah.
Steel Ruins.
Steel Ruins, yeah.
In Glen Nevis.
Looking for the tourist path.
Looking for the way up Ben Nevis. That's got to be a record.
Yeah. Hope they got there. Anyway, yeah, there's no tourist path that way. You can get up to Ben Nevis that way.
Oh, I'm sure you can. You can get to Ben Nevis from snow.
Many
if you
ways,
want.
yeah. Right, let's get some food, will we? Hopefully those guys have gone back and made it up safely. Right, cheese and onion, lovely. After our second lunch break at the top of Aonach Mor, we had to try and find the steep descent path, and we made our way back down towards the Beag, but cut off just quite a bit before we descended all the way down there. And there's a steep path which drops you down into a fantastic glacial landscape, and the views over to Carmore, Gerarg and the Ben are pretty special from here. Bit of a steep path off the descent here. And Jerry following it down there. Look at that behind him. Ben, well, Carmore, Gerarg in the middle of the picture with the Ben. Just with its head in the cloud to the left. Lovely. Right. Let's go down here. I must note at this point, this descent path is probably the trickiest part of the day, and in anything other than ideal conditions you'd have to take a lot of care. Like, it'd be very easy to slip on wet grass or icy rocks, but we soon made it down and we were making our way along the valley, and it was a lovely walk back, and the views over to the moors were just absolutely superb. What another fantastic day out and another great adventure. Until the next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next adventure.